The Students and Youth Working on Reproductive Health Action Team is one of the civic society organizations advocating for safe abortion on demand in Zimbabwe. In particular, the organization is challenging the inadequacies and limitations of the Termination of Pregnancy Act of 1977, which governs termination of pregnancy. It is SAYWHAT's argument that the Termination of Pregnancy Act, in its current state, does not complement government's effort to provide sexual reproductive health services in an integrated manner, complementing Section 78 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. SAYWHAT is engaging with Parliament of Zimbabwe, in particular the Portfolio Committees on Health, Gender and Justice. The organization seeks to optimize on the legislative and oversight roles of Parliament vis-à-vis law alignment and reforms. The parliamentarians were sensitized on the different sexual and reproductive health rights for them to have a better and deeper understanding on the interlinkages of different reproductive health elements. Abortion advocacy is heavily stereotyped and stigmatized by most communities in Zimbabwe. To this end, SAYWHAT has heavily invested in synthesizing existing literature and evidence on the effects of abortion on women and girls. It is SAYWHAT's argument that abortion advocacy can only be a success if there is enough data to support termination of pregnancy inadequacies in Zimbabwe. Ultimately, SAYWHAT needs more voices in the Parliament of Zimbabwe to speak and support the decriminalization of abortion. This can only be done if there are committed champions, parliamentarians who are willing to steer debate and hold other arms of government to account in relation to abortion as a component of sexual reproductive health services.
I used to be against it, to be honest. When we did our first workshop in Bindura, I was one person who stood up against it. But now, after the discussion that we have done today, I think abortion should be legalized without restrictions. Yes.
I think the proposal on safe abortion, as we are terming it in the Health Committee, is very important because of the restrictions currently that are in the Constitution, that are prescribed in the Constitution. The red tape that is there is hindering or is actually going against the rights of young women and young women and women. The fact that, for example, if somebody is raped, you find that there are certain stages that they have to go through, and eventually you find maybe the girl has given birth before before she's been attended to. You'll find as well that women that cannot afford to look after their children because of circumstances such as men having dumped them and they have to be left alone, or women that are suffering from health problems have to go through so much before that. There's just too much red tape.
Considering that times are changing, from way back, people could marry, have decent marriages, go through the parents, follow the cultural thing. So there wasn't not much hurdles by then. We knew our girl child would just marry, have a family, things like that, or follow the birth control system, But now, there's a lot of early sexual intercourse, when the girl child doesn't even have anything, no money to look after the baby, no proper relationship, they just indulge into sex activities without any plan of the baby. So by so doing, they get themselves pregnant unaware.
We have to move as committees, join hands together, lobby for total support from parliamentarians and from other civic societies so that we can be able to make sure that bill sails through without any problems. it's essential, as I discovered it, it's essential that it should go through.
There is an opportunity for us to change the law because of the various reasons that I've given, and also the fact that members of parliament have an appreciation of what is going on. We've been out into the communities, we've had public hearings, so I think we do have great opportunity to do.
Well, it's about us lobbying now. The health committee, the judiciary committee, in parliament, it's us now lobbying other fellow parliamentarians, show them the light, show them the way, show them the consequences suffered by our children. Then we can be able to play around with the policy, making sure that we accommodate the legal abortion.
I am willing to be a champion for safe abortion, meaning that any woman that requires abortion has access to abortion, and making sure that the people in Zimbabwe actually understand the reasons why they need to have abortion. For example, a lot of people are not aware that you can have an abortion if you have been raped, if it's incest, if you have a health reason. So what we are actually seeking is the broadening of the law on abortion.
I want to be one of the champions, and I'm going to preach it in schools. People can invite me on the radio, can invite me at ZTV, in public meetings, even when I'm doing my public gatherings in my constituents. I'm going to preach about it. I know it's hard for the old folks out there to believe it, but then if I give them the repercussions that are there these days, they'll accept it, because better save life than not to.
I will, certainly. I should be one of the champions. I'm a mother of 4 girls, young daughters, and I don't want to see any one of my children going through the risk of losing their life because of unsafe abortion. And I won't want either to see any other young girl in Zimbabwe risking their life because of unsafe abortion. So I'll be one of those champions who will go right round, even in my constituency, to talk to young girls, to talk to other fellow policy makers, to make sure that there's a change, to make sure that it's legalized, the abortion is legalized. If South Africa could do it, Zambia could do it, any other country could do it, Zimbabwe might as well do it, because time have changed. We have to move with time. We have to be on the same page with everyone else. So I am one of the champions.
SAYWHAT will continue to mobilize and engage other civic society organizations as a strategy to build a broad advocacy fund for decriminalization of abortion in Zimbabwe. The organization will continue to learn from other progressive countries in Southern Africa who have decriminalized abortion. Furthermore, SAYWHAT acknowledges the centrality of research in building more concrete arguments for policymakers to consider and prioritize the review of the Termination of Pregnancy Act in Zimbabwe.